We strongly recommend that everyone wear a mask. However, it's not a mandate, but by my executive order, it supersedes local orders with regard to any type of fine or penalty for anyone not wearing a mask.
Governor Greg Abbott made clear yesterday that his new executive orders will be the ones you need to follow, overruling some city and county ordinances.
But Travis County Judge Sarah Eckhardt says cities and counties know best when it comes to their communities, and she joins us live this morning on KXAN News Today. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, y'all.
Let's start off with, can you explain why you think counties and cities are the ones maybe that should be making the rules in the community instead of having the governor step in and make the rules for you?
I think it's really important to have a statewide response, and I'm grateful to the governor for stepping in and setting some parameters that are a statewide expectation. But the counties have been on the front lines of this pandemic for 2 months now. And so we've been working very closely together across the state, as well as with our hospitals, both public and private, to have a much clearer and much more localized view of what our healthcare capacity is and what it looks like if we overrun that capacity. So one thing that is missing in the governor's order yesterday, while I agree that now is the time to start planning for a phased and measurable reopening of business, there wasn't a lot of clarity on what that measurable, what those measures are, how to measure whether or not the increased business is setting us back or moving us forward. And I think that's where local leaders could very much help out and create a localized template for whether the advance is truly an economic and health advance,
So
just an economic advance.
Where do you stand then right now, Judge? Then what can you control? What can the mayor still have power over to make these COVID-19 decisions and make sure that Travis County is safe? How much power has the governor taken?
Well, the governor set both the floor and the ceiling, which I think is unfortunate. I think we definitely needed a statewide floor. I think the ceiling should be set by the locals so that we can set a standard that all of our businesses will feel good about. I believe that the governor opened up too much business, too fast, without meaningful measures for us to know if we have opened up too fast. One thing we're all very concerned about, I was on the phone with all 6 of the major metro county judges across the state last night. And we are all concerned that if the opening should create a spike of COVID-19 in our major metropolitan areas, which are absorbing a lot of the COVID-19 cases from surrounding rural areas as well, that our hospital capacity will get overrun without measures in place for us to be able to toggle back. So I do hope that the governor left that blank because he intends to work with us in figuring out where to draw the line should our infection rates begin to spike.
And Judge Eckhardt, I wanted to ask you, have you had any discussions on how to enforce this 25% capacity rule that's going to go into effect on those businesses reopening Friday?
Well, that's one of the troubling aspects of the order itself. So I stayed up late last night doing a little legal research. One of the troubling aspects is without an enforcement mechanism, it creates an unlevel playing field for businesses. It is unclear whether there would be any enforcement from the state. It is clear that the locals are hamstrung in being able to enforce it. because it very explicitly says that we are not to curtail businesses that have been opened. So that's some gray area that I'll be going into executive session on with our attorneys today during Commissioner's Court to fully understand what our enforcement capabilities are. Because as you can imagine, if one restaurant opens at 25% and is following all the rules and doing all the deep cleaning and really doing right by their employees and by their customers, and then the restaurant next door is opening at 50% because they know there's not any enforcement, that's problematic for the restaurateur who's following the rules, for the employees of the restaurateur who's not following the rules, for the clients. So we're going to be looking at that very closely, what we can do in order to level up that playing field and also make sure that we are ensuring the public health. The public health and the economic recovery are interdependent. You can't have economic recovery without health recovery, and you can't have health recovery without economic recovery. They're absolutely intertwined.
Okay, and real quick, Judge Eckhardt, we're running out of time. Did you have any input on the governor's executive order here? Was there any communication?
No.
No? Okay.
A straight up no. Before we let you go, last week you talked about how if we do not start to increase testing, that we are going to see a lot of people who are going to be impacted by this virus. The governor said yesterday that we're going to start seeing more people who test positive. But what we are not seeing, he says, are people who are being hospitalized and people who are dying from the virus. That's less and less every single day. Is that the case here in Travis County? Because I see it climbing every single day.
That is also a troubling aspect. Even the federal guidelines sent down by the Trump administration very clearly stated that we should see a decline in actual hospitalizations and positive cases for a 2-week period before going into phase 1 of reopening of businesses. We have not seen a decline in positive cases and hospitalizations for a 2-week period. And we've seen our death rate climb. We're currently at 1,464 cases and 42 deaths in Travis County. I will say that we have seen an increase in testing capacity, and we have comparatively good contact tracing here. I would say that in Travis County, we may have a better saturation of testing capacity and contact tracing than almost anywhere else in the state. And so the fact that our cases are climbing, our hospitalizations are climbing, and our deaths are climbing would indicate to me that it's not yet time to go into phase 1. That doesn't mean it's not time to plan for phase 1. I 100% agree with the governor that we do need to have a phased approach to reopening, but it needs to be a measured approach.
Travis County Judge Sarah Eckhardt, we appreciate you waking up early with us and giving us some answers and better perspective into this.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back.